Today is Friday, Parashat Nitzavim-Vayelech. It's also the 24th day of Elul. It's the yahrzeit of the Chafetz Chaim. Chafetz Chaim passed away about 84 years ago, and he's known for his book on Shmirat al-Lashon, on being careful with our speech. And the power of speech is a very, very powerful gift that Hashem gave us. In fact, when Hashem created the world and created man, it says, Vayipah be'apav ruach hayim, and Hashem blew into his nostrils a breath of life, and he became a living spirit. And the Targum explains that he became a speaking spirit. So what makes us unique in terms of all the creations and the creatures in the world is that our ability to speak. Our ability to speak, to express ourselves, to share ideas, to teach, to influence with words, to make people feel good with compliments. All this incredible power of speech is what makes us people, and what we are to be very careful with, to keep the purity of our speech. When a person speaks lashon hara, when he speaks evil speech, when he denigrates another person with words, when he says something negative about someone for no need. In other words, even if it's true, actually, when it's true and it's a negative statement about someone, that's lashon hara. There are times where you are obligated to share information. Like somebody asks you, should I do business with this person? And you've had some very bad experiences with that person, and that person has a track record which is no good, then you may have the obligation to say what you need to say and no more than that. So the Chafetz Chaim, whose Azkara is today, whose yahrzeit is today, is known for having given us such a beautiful gift of a book, a teachings, to elucidate many points about how to keep our purity of speech. And speech is something so important. It can be so creative, it can be so constructive, it can be so good. There's so much to be shared with other people in terms of knowledge, in terms of ideas, in terms of communicating, in terms of sharing with others. A lot of positive things can be done with speech. But on the other hand, speech could be so destructive. It is actually on the 9th of Av when the spies came back and spoke lashon hara about the land of Israel. That date was a date that became the date where so many calamities, the destruction of the temple happened, and that all originated on lashon hara. And many other examples can be brought. So that's why we have to be very, very careful with what we say, how we say it, when we say it, and to be very careful and to use our power of speech in positive ways, in ways that make people gain knowledge, that make people happy, that all this should be only good, and to stay away from bad. And this is in tribute to the Chafetz Chaim, who has given us the gift of his teachings on the subject. Tomorrow is the last Shabbat of the year, actually, starting tonight, Friday night. We'll light candles before Shabbat and bring in the Shabbat. And this Shabbat, the 25th day of Elul, is the first day of creation of the world. In other words, 5,778 years ago, the beginning of the creation of the world, when Hashem said, "Let there be light," was on the 25th of Elul. Man was created on the 6th day of creation, which will be the 1st of Tishrei, which will be on Thursday this coming week. But this Shabbat is the Shabbat of the beginning of the creation of the world. This is when Hashem said there be light. It's a Shabbat that our rabbis, our sages said, has incredible potential. In general, every Shabbat has a certain radiance to it, a certain light that is there from the time of the creation of the world. Because when Hashem created the world, there was a Ora Ganuz, there was an incredible spiritual light that radiated throughout the world. That was not the light that was created on the fourth day, which was Wednesday, which was the sun and the moon. That was a physical light, but on the first day was a spiritual light that was present in the first Shabbat, and then Hashem hid it after the first Shabbat in the Torah, and hid it for the future, for the tzaddikim. But yet every Shabbat has that radiance in potential in it, for us to connect with, and for us to, in giving kavod to Shabbat, in honoring the Shabbat, in observing the Shabbat, we connect again with that special radiance that was there on the first day of creation. Shabbat Shalom, and Shana Tova umetuka tizku leshanim rabot na'imot vetovot. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.